Okay, for the first fight of Dragon Ball Z versus DC characters, I had almost no choice but to pick these two guys. That's Piccolo and the Martian Manhunter. Let me get my my fight board document. That guy all loaded up. Now, ironically, as always, when we go through the 9 key things we have: intelligence, fighting ability, strength, speed, durability, vulnerability, energy, and versatility, and the ever-important X factor. Now, the weird thing is, when I was doing my background on Piccolo, it's been a while since I've seen Dragon Ball Z. I actually had to read up on him a little bit. You know, I'm not just going to pick one version of Piccolo, because the problem with Dragon Ball Z characters is almost every season they gained a new level of abilities. So we're going to actually have 3 different fights with Piccolo. The first one being the beginning of the Frieza saga, where he was reincarnated. And then when he absorbed nails, will be the second version. That's the version who took Frieza to like the second transformation and was still doing okay. And then the one where he finally absorbed, I think it was the older Piccolo, when he became the Super Namek. Now, a brief description of Piccolo's powers: he has flight, super strength, super speed, the ability to stretch his body, as well as the ability to grow in size, the size of a mountain. Most of his attacks were primarily just energy-based. He also, I think it was called the Demon Screw, depending on what version you saw, where that's when you put his fingers to his forehead and then do this, and essentially you would see a center beam coming out with another beam spiraling around it, which is designed to drill through their opponents. It wasn't an explosion, it actually ran the beam straight through you. However, it took a while for him to do. So those are his basic base abilities, and as he absorbed other Nameks and came back and trained harder and harder, he became actually vastly stronger in between each individual scenario. Versus the Martian Manhunter, oh, I forgot one more thing. Piccolo also has psychic abilities, and at one point in time did have laser vision. Versus the Martian Manhunter, who has, again, shapeshifting of a different level than Piccolo. Piccolo can extend limbs and whatnot, but John's has a much more superior version of shapeshifting. The intangibility, psychic abilities, as well as the heat vision, she almost never uses. And, the super breath, super speed, super strength, super durability. So ironically, depending on which version of Piccolo I go with, you do see certain abilities start to become more pronounced as you become a closer fight. So we'll begin with, when Piccolo first gets reincarnated, I think we're still in the Frieza saga. I think we had gone past the Ginyu saga. So, intelligence. While Piccolo has been around for a really long time, when you're comparing that versus a guy whose alter ego is a detective and is an expert mediator. So, Martian Manhunter gets intelligence. Fighting ability, it's Piccolo. Flat out, it's Piccolo. Piccolo knows how to fight and does a very good job of fighting. Martian Manhunter, like almost all DC characters, they're like punchers. Versus a guy who punch, kicks, heads, butts, and does everything. Strength. Remember, this is the Frieza version, so he hasn't quite absorbed anybody yet. Martian Manhunter. Speed, Martian Manhunter. Durability, I'm going to go with Martian Manhunter here. You have a level of regeneration, and over here, he can regenerate his whole body, so it takes some time, but we're still looking at a higher level of durability over here on this side. And vulnerability. This version of Piccolo really got the crap beat out of him pretty easily. So again, we're going to Martian Manhunter. Energy projection. By far, that has to go to almost any Dragon Ball Z character. You've got Frost Breath, you have Heat Vision, versus multiple energy attacks, different styles of energy attacks, long range, short range, screw attacks. It has to go to Piccolo. Versatility. They're actually really, really close on this, but I have to give this one again to the Martian Manhunter, because he has a lot more abilities to him. X Factor. Martian Manhunter, if he's near fire, kind of drops his abilities. Yes, I'm keeping him as a psychic pyrophobic, where if anything happens with fire, it's going to affect him. So that gives it to Piccolo. So right off the bat, with Piccolo being entirely physically inferior, it's 3-6. So initial, I'm going to fight Frieza Piccolo. So the initial Frieza saga Piccolo will get absolutely annihilated by John Jones. Now, he's absorbed nails, so he's slightly stronger. And he's able to take on Frieza to Frieza's second level. Here we go. It's a stronger Piccolo. Intelligence, again, it's got to go to the Martian Manhunter. He still has this edge. Even though now you have the intelligence of two people, you know, he's getting close, but he's still coming at it as just two warriors. There's really no other sorts of personalities there. Fighting ability. Strength, speed, durability, invulnerability, energy projection, versatility, X Factor. So even though now Piccolo's become stronger, he's getting closer to Manhunter, but he's not actually at the same level as the Martian Manhunter. So now, he's absorbed nails, he's lost to Frieza. We're now at the Cell games, where he's trained for a ridiculously long time. And he's also absorbed the Elder Piccolo. So now he's at Super Namek levels. However, he still has a problem fighting. He's okay against some of the androids, but he has to fight Cell Juniors. And if we saw anything from the cartoon, the Cell Juniors were easily destroyed by slightly above level 2 Super Saiyan Gohan. So as powerful as Cell was still able to be defeated essentially by ascended level 2s. We haven't even hit Super Saiyan level 3s yet. So Piccolo and Super Namek ability is probably near the level of Super Saiyan 2, but not ascended Super Saiyan 2. Yes, apparently there's a difference between Super Saiyan and Ascended Super Saiyan 2. I guess it was all the different power transformations. So here we go. Intelligence. Now I have to give this one to Piccolo, because he now has the combined intelligence of 3 different Nameks, one of which has been around for a ridiculous long amount of time, who essentially sits above Earth and has lots and lots of experience. Fighting ability. We're still looking at a guy who now has the intelligence of 3 people. Strength. Martian Manhunter is near Superman's class. Up to this point in time, Piccolo is ridiculously strong, but I still don't think he's got the overall raw power to match what Martian Manhunter can do. Martian Manhunter is near Superman's league. I said near. Near. Durability. At this point in time, it's the ability to regenerate. Now we're seeing Piccolo have a much higher level of regeneration. He can come back from injuries a lot faster. So I'm going to give the edge in durability. Sorry, we're at speed. So we've gotten strength on one side, so it's speed now. At this point in time, it's going to have more like the combat speed. So I'm going to give the speed advantage to Piccolo. At this time, he is ridiculously fast. And he's really good at combat speed. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, they almost always just speed blitz. So we're at durability. This is how well you come back from a beatdown. Man, I don't know. Piccolo's got fairly good regeneration at this point in time. But no, I'm going to give this one to Martian Manhunter. Because the ability to shapeshift, ironically, also allows you to heal from wounds faster. So I'm assuming this sort of combat, it's going to be fast and it's going to be furious. But I think the fact that if you shapeshift, you can also regenerate faster, because it's control over your cellular structure. So I'll give that as an advantage over Piccolo's enhanced healing abilities at this point in time. Even though from a really major damage, I'd probably give it to Piccolo. Because Piccolo can regenerate. As long as his head's intact, he can come back. Invulnerability. Again, I really do have to give this one to Martian Manhunter. The one thing we've always noticed in Dragon Ball Z characters is while they can take a beating, because they have a high level of stamina, most attacks really do hurt them a significant amount. So now we're currently tied up. We got intelligence, fighting ability, speed, versus strength, durability, and invulnerability. Okay, energy projection. Again, this by far has to go to Piccolo. You're looking at more abilities, stronger, distant attacks, versatility. You're looking at a lot more abilities. The X Factor, ironically, it comes down to if a fire happens to break out. But at the same time, it's if a fire breaks out versus, I'm pretty sure by now, Martian Manhunter is probably vastly superior psychically So now it's, if a fire breaks out, versus, well, you know what, if Martian Manhunter, during the fight, happens to grab a hold of Piccolo's antennas. So ironically, they're fairly even up at this point in time. However, the chances of a fire breaking out are pretty good. The chances of Martian Manhunter having gotten to Piccolo's psychic defense during the fight and realizing that, you know, if I grab his antennas, he's going to lose his powers. So if you have a shapeshifter who can grab someone's antennas, once the antennas are grabbed, it kind of, you know, limits some of the abilities of Piccolo. In a ridiculously close fight, if a fire breaks out, Piccolo has this. If there's no fire, it 100% goes to Martian Manhunter. So what you're looking at someone who's fairly close to, you know, to Ascended Super Saiyan level 2 in Piccolo, versus a guy who has a natural greater advantage. So if any sort of fire breaks out, this fight entirely goes to Piccolo. If a fire does not break out, you know, psychic abilities, higher versatility, and the chance that he might randomly happen to grab a hold of the antennas, the fight goes to Martian Manhunter. So these, ironically, are ridiculously closely laid out. You know, it's the ability to turn invisible, to be intangible. Martin brings a lot of abilities to the table, but he's taken on somebody who, at this point in time, has absorbed the lives, the abilities, and the intelligence and fighting strength of 3 different people. So you have original Piccolo, Nails, and you also end up having the Elder Piccolo. So this guy essentially is fighting 3 high-level fighters with intelligence at the exact same time. So ironically, they're a lot closer than I ever would have thought they would have been. So it comes down to, for the first 2 versions, Martian Manhunter takes it. He takes it, and he takes it fairly easily. Unless a fire breaks out. In the third and final battle, they are evenly matched. If a fire breaks out, Martian Manhunter goes down. Martian Manhunter figures out, by this point in time in the fight, I will have had them fighting multiple times. You know, they will have fought the first time, Martian Manhunter will probably gain some sort of, you know, distinct knowledge about the character. Second time, you know, he will absorb Nails, so he's got different abilities. So there might be some subtleness while trying to do a psychic read. Then he's absorbed, you know, I think it's Kami? I think he'll absorb Kami. So then you have that additional muddle trying to read 3 minds at the same time. But he might have picked up enough to know, oh, if I grab his antennas, it's going to affect his abilities. I can probably turn one arm like a tentacle, grab his antennas, weaken him, and then probably, you know, beat him up. Or if need be, just kind of let the fight take its course. Piccolo will wear down slowly over time, and then Martian Manhunter really take advantage of it. So ironically, those 2, for being green and having psychic abilities, and both being aliens in their respective universes, are actually ridiculously evenly matched.